Today we're participating in the third round of the Aus-NZ Combined Intercontinental GT Challenge. This is Triple Crown Racing, let's get into it. Hello and welcome along to qualifying for the third round of the Intercontinental GT Challenge, the Spa 24 Hours. Now, the Spa 24 Hours is actually a special round of this championship, not only because it's the Spa 24 Hours, but it is the only round of the championship where there are actually 3 different sessions. So what is expected to happen is that one driver will take one session and the other driver will take the other 2 sessions. Of course, one of the drivers in this race will actually do the entire race by himself. Currently, myself and my teammate Speed Racer sit 4th, I believe, in the championship coming into the Spa 24 Hours, so we'll be seeing if we can reclaim our 3rd place. As we come into the final sector now, we currently sit 7th in the time standings, but that was only our out lap, and this is our fastest lap that we do in qualifying. We're 12 seconds up on our out lap, which is probably a good thing. And we come across the line with a time of 2 minutes 22.5, which is good enough for at the time for 6th place, but ends up putting us 7th. So Sato topped the qualifying session, followed by AJD, Cosmic Robbie, Dark Racing, Data Racer, Taipan Samurai, myself, RSJ, Night Pegasus, and Colonel Lloyd rounds off the top 10. I believe Simo was the 11th driver, and that is how we'll start for the Spa 24 Hours. So here we are, lining up, getting ready to start the Spa 24 Hours. For the Intercontinental GT Challenge, we've got Taipan Samurai in front of us and RSJ behind us. We're getting ready to go green. We're rounding the final 2 corners. The lights are about to come on. We're only moments away from the start. And we go green for the Spa 24 Hours. Now, Data Racer and Taipan Samurai look like they've gotten a pretty good start. Let's see if we can make up any places going into turn 1. And we've caught up to the back of the field. Data Racer's taking a very, very tight line into turn 1. And Taipan Samurai and Data Racer look like they make contact there. We're just about alongside Data Racer now going into Radion. We do have an opportunity to pass him, but I wouldn't try it on the first lap. We do have a little bit of a look, but we're not going to try and get through on the first lap. And the order remains pretty much the same at the moment. And we are chasing down Data Racer, coming onto the Camel Straight, and it looks like it's calmed down just for the time being. Data Racer has a look on Taipan Samurai. He looks like he's going to go to the inside. He has a look, but he backs out of it, and I've actually caught up to him in the braking zone. We almost run off the track there. AJD's very slow off the corner. It looks like he might have had a problem as well. Taipan Samurai has a look on AJD, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to try and make a move, and there's a bit of a train forming back here, and we have a little bit of a look on Data Racer. Data Racer covering his line very nicely indeed. We'll try and have another look. We look to the inside going into the corner with no name, but it doesn't look like we'll get it done. Can we get a better run than Data Racer off the corner? And we also have RSJ for company as well, so we'll have to be wary of him as well. We have another look to the inside of Data Racer, but he's defending his line very, very nicely indeed. And it looks like we'll just have to slot back into 7th place. Now we'll try and move in the next couple of corners. We have another look again, but Data Racer's taking a very, very tight line, and it doesn't look like we'll be able to get through on him. We're still right behind him as well, so we might have a chance to pass him in these next couple of corners. Data Racer's very early on the brakes. We look to the inside. Oh, we make a bit of contact. He just seemed very, very slow off the corner there, and now we're being left vulnerable to RSJ. We've run wide, we've run off the track, and RSJ and Colonel Lloyd have gone through as well, and it looks like Night Pegasus has taken advantage of it. So just that slight contact with Data Racer has really, really cost us. We've gone from 7th to 10th in only a couple of corners. Now fast forward onto the start of lap 2. We'll try and go down the inside of Night Pegasus. We look to the inside. It's a dive bomb move. Daniel Ricciardo would be proud. And we're up into 9th place, chasing down Colonel Lloyd. Now fast forward later in the race. We've caught up to Data Racer and Colonel Lloyd. We have the opportunity to gain a few positions. Oh, and Data Racer's gotten loose, and so is Colonel Lloyd. We make a little bit of contact with Data Racer, and we dodge Colonel Lloyd in the McLaren. And that's a Matrix-style move, and you'll see a replay of it there. Data Racer gets loose, and so does Colonel Lloyd in 2 separate incidents. We actually make a little bit of contact with Data Racer, and then Colonel Lloyd spins back in front of us. We run a little bit off the track, but we've actually escaped 2 cars spinning in 2 separate incidents. Now fast forward later into the race once again after our lucky escape, and our car's starting to not handle very well. AJD's come into the pits and he's got a penalty as well, but it looks like our car's actually dropping off the pace. Our car was set up well for the hot conditions, but doesn't seem to be handling very well in the cooler conditions, and we've also been fuel saving as well, which gives Colonel Lloyd and Data Racer an opportunity to catch up to us, and we run a little bit off the track there, and now we really are under pressure from Colonel Lloyd, who is right on our back bumper and actually might try and make a move in the next couple of corners. Our fuel saving and setup is working against us, because you actually do have to be fuel conscious in this session, because it's so long, and you will actually have to stop for fuel in your pit stop. We run a little bit off the track there, and that's given Colonel Lloyd another opportunity to catch up. He looks to the inside. It looks like he might be able to drag past us, but he makes the sensible decision and backs off. And we run a little bit off the track again. He's got to run on us. We get loose. See, our car is working against us. It's not handling these cool conditions very well, and it's giving Colonel Lloyd an opportunity to pass. He looks to the outside, but he's going to have to back out of it. And I do apologize. That's not actually Data Racer. That's the behind Colonel Lloyd. That's the Black Falcon Mercedes. But by the looks of things, because of the temperatures dropping, our car's actually getting progressively worse as the race wears on. So that all the other cars in the field were set up for cooler conditions, ours was set up for hot conditions, and now it's fading later on in the race. And Colonel Lloyd's having a look down the Kemmel Straight. It looks like he might be able to drag past us in the Garage 59 McLaren. We're side by side, and he's dragged ahead of us. However, he's too early on the brakes here. We seize the opportunity, and we're back up into 6th place for now. But I don't think we'll be able to hold this for very long, because Colonel Lloyd's car is much better than ours at the moment. See, we're struggling on exit there as well. Now, fast forward a little bit later into the race, and we've run off the track. We've run off into the gravel traps, and it doesn't look like we'll be able to defend from Colonel Lloyd at this point now. Colonel Lloyd has gone through, and now that's left us vulnerable to AJD as well. He has a little bit of a look, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to get by him. We've run off the track. That's going to give him more time to catch up as well. We're back down to 7th place, and it probably isn't safe for 8th either, because AJD, his car is looking very, very racy behind us in the number 9 Black Falcon Mercedes, and our car is just not handling well at all, and it's only going to get worse as the race goes on. Now into the last couple of corners. Oh, and we've run off the track. AJD has a look to the outside, but he's backed off, and he holds 8th place in the last couple of corners. I think he knows we're vulnerable, so he's not going to try anything stupid. I think he's just going to wait for us to make a mistake. Now, fast forward later, I think it's into that lap, and AJD is having a look down the Kemmel Straight. He goes to the inside. We cover off the inside line. That was probably a little bit dirty from us, but we've held the position. AJD's giving us the flash of the lights. He's still behind us now, but looks like we've run off the track. We've lost the car, and we're going over the sausage curbs, and we have to rejoin the track safely, and AJD's gone up into 7th place. So our car really, really not handling these cool conditions, and as you can see, as it gets darker, it's only getting worse. Now, as you can see, running off the track again, we've hit the sausage curb, and that's a fatal mistake. We've looped the car, and any chance of catching up to AJD in the near future has been thrown away. Now, Taipan Samurai has made a pit stop, and that means that we can go up into 8th place. But, It's really not a good situation at the moment. As you can see, it's getting darker and we're running off the track, and it's just not a good situation. I'm not going to entirely blame the car, My driving isn't very good at the moment, but our setup is really not helping us, and I don't think we're fuel saving anymore. And look, yeah, we're just having snap oversteer in the cool conditions, and we've run off the track, we've spun it around, we're almost in the gravel traps as well, and all of our mistakes has given Taipan Samurai, who, may I add, has actually made a pit stop and we haven't. It's given him a chance to catch up, and we really should have made a pit stop when we were ahead of Taipan Samurai and cut our losses. Now, Taipan Samurai, he looks like he might be having a look on the run down towards Radion, going up the Eau Rouge complex now, and our run off the corner isn't very good. His is much better than mine. He's taking advantage of the slipstream down the Camel Straight. He looks to the inside, and we might make a move in these next couple of corners. Let's see if we can defend against him. We're on the brakes now, but it doesn't look like it's a very good situation because we lose the car going into the chicane, and we almost loop the car, but we've saved it, but at a cost. Taipan Samurai goes through, and we're back down to 8th. And with our pace at the moment, we're losing about 2 seconds a lap, and with Dado Racer, not well, only about 25 seconds behind us, roughly. This might not actually be safe for 8th either. Now, fast forward later in the race, and oh goodness me, and we almost crash into the back of Taipan Samurai as we get lapped by Sado, who is absolutely dominating the race in the Cash Show Mercedes at the moment. And fast forward later on again, and we're just not having a good time. We've looped the car again with 34 minutes to go, nearly 35 minutes to go, and that's giving Dado Racer more and more opportunities to catch up to us. And we decide to make our pit stop. We're going to try and cut our losses, make a fuel stop, and we do make our fuel stop now, and we come out behind Dado Racer, so we're in 9th place with only Night Pegasus behind us by quite some margin. Now, fast forward later in the race, it's only getting worse, and we've run off the track in the bus stop chicane. We are not having a good time. However, this might be a blessing here. AJD's actually gotten himself a drive-through penalty, and he's within touching distance at the moment, and we might actually be able to make up a place. And here's Dark Racing, who might have gone off ahead of us. He's a few laps ahead, and he's very slow for some reason. I think he is making a pit stop now, though. Yes, he is making a pit stop, and looks like we actually have the opportunity to make a position up AJD with a drive-through penalty. And it looks like, ooh, this could be close out the pit lane here. Coming into turn 1, and it looks like AJD just gets out ahead of us with the drive-through penalty. However, he is within closing distance. He's slow out of the pit lane. We've got a much faster car, and we've closed up to AJD now. We have a look to the inside, coming into Radion, and AJD runs off the track at the top of Eau Rouge. He's very slow coming onto the Camel Straight, and it looks like we might be able to just drag by him now, and we're up into 8th place, and he's actually got another drive-through, so we might actually be able to hold on to 8th place if we don't make too many mistakes. However, coming into the chicane, yes, we've lost the car again, and we're going for a spin, and we've lost the position to AJD again. However, he still does have a drive-through penalty, so we have one more opportunity to go up into 8th place. AJD comes onto the pit lane again, and it looks like we will be able to go past him as well. Colonel Lloyd quite far ahead up the field now. He's also coming onto pit road as well, and we've finally gotten past AJD with his second drive-through penalty. Now fast forward a couple of laps later, and we've lost the car again into the chicane. This car's undrivable in these conditions, and AJD has gone through again. So despite having 2 opportunities to get past him, we've lost it. And coming on to the final lap of session 1, Colonel Lloyd's put it in the wall, and we've come home in P9. Now, the race isn't over. We still have an opportunity to hand it over to Speed Racer, and hopefully he'll do better than we did. So Sado took the checkered flag in session 1, followed by Cosmic Robbie, Taipan Samurai, and Dark Racing, as well as the rest of the field. We finished all the way down in P9, and the Schubert BMW actually didn't finish the race. I believe they disconnected. So those are the standings at the end of Session 1. However, Speed Racer does have the opportunity to do better than we did. However, I won't show any footage of that because this video is already 15 minutes long. Let's see how we did. So I handed over to Speed Racer for Session 2, and the results from Session 2 look like this. Dark Racing was leading at the end of Session 2, followed by Shads, and Speed Racer has carried our team again and come home in 3rd place. Now, at the end of Session 3, the results looked like this. Shads and Cosmic Robbie took the victory, and Dark Racing, having done the entire race by himself, came in 2nd, and Speed Racer and I finished 3rd, with another fantastic drive from Speed Racer, and our rivals, Sado and Lockie, finished in 4th. So that means we have an opportunity to move up in the standings. Shads' team with Cosmic Robbie still leads the championship, but we've moved up into 3rd, just behind the number 124 Castro Racing Mercedes of Sado and Lockie. So after the race at Spa, the championship is still very, very close, and Speed Racer and I have a genuine chance of actually winning. And on that note, I think I'll leave it there, actually. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next round. Goodbye.